Ahoy! Just in the middle of another impossible Elden Ring boss fight. Boy, can't contain the fun I'm having being stuck on the same guy for 8 hours! This is impossible! Whoa, Soblev, take it easy. You just got the place, don't put holes in it already. Elden Ring is pissing me off. I give up. I don't want to do it anymore. Everything is just pain and sadness. You're talking about Elden Ring, right? No. Okay, how about you take a break and play something that relaxes you? Russian roulette? No. Better, I hope. Try this. Oh my god, they made another Endless Ocean? Ah, perfect. You've heard of Endless Ocean. Heard of it? I love these games.
The Wii was an amazing console that had such an incredible variety of games. Don't get me wrong, the Wii had a lot of garbage games too, but that was the beauty of the Wii. Sometimes you'll get one of the greatest gaming experiences of all time, other times you get carnival games. There was a hierarchy of Wii games. We had the upper echelon of elite gaming experiences that people bought Wiis for, well-known titles for the hardcore gamers to enjoy, a whole chunk of shovelware, and then a third class that consisted of games that could be classified as lesser-known great titles, or hidden gems for lack of a better term. Endless Ocean falls in that category. You see this? This saved people money on therapy. Probably. Endless Ocean was a game about scuba diving where you got to dive into an incredible and vast underwater world. It was released in 2008 and people knew it as a very relaxing experience. It was laid back. After getting past the tutorial, you were pretty much given a giant map to explore at your own leisure. Endless Ocean wasn't the best looking game or too entertaining at times, but it gave off an incredible sense of wonder. 3 years later, it got a sequel, Blue World, which is one of my favorite Wii games. It was more of Endless Ocean, but expanded upon, with more emphasis on story and letting us dive in locales around the world, giving a chance to explore unique environments. Now, Endless Ocean isn't for everyone. It can be slow at times, and you need to have an interest in scuba diving or just be a nature lover in general to be able to fully enjoy it, which I am guilty of.
Endless Ocean was a great duology on the Wii, and they were both unique in their own way. While I do believe Blue World was better because it had more things to do, it doesn't mean I dismiss the original because that game still had the fun of being able to discover things. And possibly to an even greater degree because there was a lot less of it. But anyway, Endless Ocean always kind of flew under the radar. It was known, but it wasn't that known. When I got my Nintendo Switch, I was always wondering if we were gonna get a third Endless Ocean on the platform. And then this year, we did! The release of Endless Ocean Luminous flew under my radar, but once I found out about its existence, I got it almost immediately. So let's see if it keeps that incredible sense of wonder and that soothing experience I remember it for, because Elden Ring can go piss up a rope.
Well, I'm not gonna tiptoe around it, I'm just gonna say it. Endless Ocean Luminous fucking sucks. Everything I said about what makes Endless Ocean great is absent in Luminous. The game is like a toaster, it's soulless, and it takes your bread.
I hate you.
While I was really excited to hear of this game's existence, my excitement turned into apathy as when I looked up the Switch Direct trailer for it, it highlighted an auto-generating ocean, which was a huge red flag for me. See, when Arika carefully forged an underwater ecosystem, it feels maximized to its full potential. Everything would be beaming with life and every nook and cranny would have something worth checking out. Here in Luminous, it's an auto-generated ocean every time you jump in, and it lacks any cohesion or purpose. I'd enter a place thinking there has to be something worth checking out, but oftentimes there's nothing. Sometimes the game doesn't generate anything and will have you swimming around and looking at nothing, or you see the same stuff over and over. Like, I swear, I keep seeing the same ship in different places. Now, Luminous will have times where its auto-generating will actually pull off something neat, but it happens so rarely, I'm just writing those off as freak accidents. The thing with also not having crafted dive sites is that it takes away our chance to revisit them and get familiar with them. It'd be nice to jump into a dive site and know a nice spot I can visit that usually has a lot of fun marine life to look at or is just visually pleasing in general, but here it's just random. The RNG-based coral and fish spawning makes everything feel thrown together, and it takes away a lot of the heart.
Now, I'm not saying an auto-generated ocean is a bad idea. I just think it could have been implemented better.
In past Endless Oceans, I'd reach the end of the map and wonder what lies beyond. Well, maybe we can now have an option to swim out to the open sea, but it'd be an auto-generated ocean and probably have treasures or creatures that exclusively lurk in these outer sea areas. That would be a great use. See, having an auto-generated ocean could be a great component, but not the entire basis of a game. Having it all take place in this veiled sea that changes each time is also a downgrade from Blue World, because in that game we got to explore dive sites around the world, with each location having its own personality. One would have huge emphasis on fish or coral, another has a lot of shipwrecks with treasures to scavenge, and others have more dangerous wildlife to be careful around.
Luminous doesn't have that fun ability to plan out what you want to do. You just gotta work with what it gives you and hope it gives you something interesting. And usually it doesn't.
The trailer also showcased having over 500 species for us to discover. Well, let's dive into that.
Get it? Dive into it?
So not only is the game's map random as hell, but the placement of all the marine life is also up in the air.
Well, actually, it's in the water.
In Luminous, even the animals we find are all auto-generated, which completely takes away our ability to discover them. We didn't go to a location where these lobsters are prominent, the game just spawned them in this area for us to find. There is a difference. Now, something Endless Ocean used to have was these little glow spots where you'd swim up to them and observe a really tiny creature, and it was adorable. Luminous doesn't have that, and something else Luminous scrapped entirely was shore life. We used to be able to exit the water and go ashore and interact with other forms of marine life like seals, penguins, and birds. The abyss was always a highlight for me. You'd see these giant rips in the ocean floor, and when you were finally allowed to explore, you'd swim in total darkness until something starts appearing in the shadows. It was always sick because everything down here looks terrifying. With Endless Ocean Luminous, our abyssal exploration was us swimming around until we found a butthole, go down it like how Mario goes down pipes, and it's a medium-sized cave filled up the wazoo with deep sea / legendary creatures. This is lame. It's nothing like how the depths were in previous games. This is barely an abyss, it's just a hole.
I should talk more about fish.
Legendary creatures are something that have existed in Endless Ocean, but they never overshadowed the rest of the marine life. Endless Ocean was able to show people the beauty of this life below the sea, all the amazing colors and funny shaped creatures. However, Endless Ocean also had a hint of the mythical, as it would have a small amount of legendary creatures like the Kraken, Leviathan, prehistoric dinosaurs, and then some original creations like the Golden Catfish or Okeanos Guardian. Finding these things were always neat, as you oftentimes had to complete side quests to be able to discover them. In Luminous, there are so many legendary creatures scattered all over the place, it took all the hype out. There's just too many of them. Sometimes you'll enter a cave and there are more legendaries than there are real fish. I swear to God, they keep labeling these things as rare, but the amount of times I've seen them in the last few hours, I think that IUCN can classify them as least concern. Thanatos was a giant shark in Blue World that would, at multiple points in the story, appear to just harass you. Now he's a shrimpy little penis who I'll see in a cave like it's nothing. Because again, there are so many legendary creatures, they mean nothing. And 10 minutes later, when I'm swimming outside the dark cave, I'll see him swimming around again because the game just spawns him wherever. He doesn't have a designated area you gotta be cautious about entering. You can probably find them at an Applebee's.
I've been complaining about the RNG and auto-generated ocean for a few minutes now, and I know I'm already beating this horse to death, but that's just what it is. Endless Ocean Luminous lost all sense of wonder and discovery by doing this, and it's a huge problem when the basis of the series was discovery. With Luminous, you're no longer discovering, you're just seeing what the game gives you.
Honestly, I can go on and on and on about what Endless Ocean Luminous is missing from previous installments, so I'll just speedrun it. Being able to feed fish, putting on dolphin shows, taking photography gigs, giving tours to NPCs, giving you a pulse gun to fend off dangerous creatures, letting you actually customize your avatar, having an avatar, side characters that you actually care about, letting you ride a whale, or something that shocks me so much that it's not in the game that it killed me, letting us manage an aquarium. So let's focus on what the game does let you do. So we have 4 options here in the main menu. First up, we have Solo Dive, where we just get thrown into our auto-generated dive site. Now, what is there mostly to do here? Well, we swim around and scan fish so we can log them into our creature log. And thing is, I'll admit, the one thing Endless Ocean Luminous did improve on over its predecessor is being able to scan groups of fish at once. In Endless Ocean beforehand, you'd have to scan them one at a time. Now you can scan large groups and scroll through them, and it is hella convenient. And I'll give it to Luminous, it does still do a solid job showing you the beautiful creatures the game has and providing information on them. And also, if you're leveled up enough, you can even have them become your friend and accompany you on your dive. Again, I will still miss not being able to feed them, but at least the game still lets us have fish friends.
Because fish are friends, not food. No!
The only other thing to do when swimming around is scavenging for treasures, and while I'm glad the game kept it, you can always leave it to Luminous to screw it up. So the way we scavenge is we simply swim until we see a glowing spot, swim up to it, hold A, and just get the treasure. Beforehand, it was a lot more fun and in depth.
Get it? Depth?
When diving, you had to first equip the sensor and scour the area like an actual treasure hunt, and the device would start telling you if you're getting closer and what the materials are. You'd finally find the object, but it's all rusted up, so you would have to take it to a shop where you'd get it appraised and find out what it is. It was great, like opening a treasure chest. Literally! There was excitement in the adventure, but now it's just find the glow spot, see what you got. That's pretty much all there is to do gameplay-wise in Endless Ocean Luminous. Oh, menu, please give me something else to make fun of. We can connect online and do more of the same thing just with more people around.
I wonder if anyone will meet their wife here.
Oh, but we have another online mode, the Event Online Play. During my time with Luminous, the event was the Terrible Thanatos. What, this little shrimp penis? Terrible? He just swims around! And plus you can find them very easily on any dive site, so you don't need the event.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not implying the game should lock certain creatures' accessibility behind limited time online multiplayer. But what's the point of this mode?
Oh well, let's tackle the story mode, and I know I usually do these first in my videos, but I'm saving the worst for last. So the story of Endless Ocean Luminous is that you are a diver working with an AI assistant in your ear and a random faceless diver named Daniel. Yes, the game traded away memorable characters for Siri. So what are we doing? I don't know, something about an ancient slab, a world tree underwater, and glitchy fish. I didn't pay attention. I tuned out as soon as the words "Save the World" came across the screen, which seems way too grandiose for this type of game. Really? How am I supposed to save the world? By swimming and looking at this dolphin? The plots in previous games were smaller in scale, but it made sense. In Endless Ocean, you're looking for a legendary white whale, not Moby Dick by the way. In Endless Ocean Blue World, we are looking for an ancient treasure, which leads them to finding a legendary white whale, though not the same legendary white whale from Endless Ocean 1, but a different legendary white whale. And by the way, the legendary white whale from Endless Ocean 1 also returns in Endless Ocean 2, and the real-life legendary white whale Moby Dick is also in the game.
You know, legendary white whale was also almost the name for this channel. Damn it, legendary white whale! Get back to Elden Ring! Leave me alone, subpar burgundy porpoise!
But anyway, the premise of the plot isn't why I absolutely hate the story mode. It's because of the way it's structured. So the game is told in chapters, and these chapters are insanely short and mundane. They start with dialogue and give you a task to accomplish, but the task is legit right in front of you. Here's a reenactment. At one point, a chapter was just dialogue. You can't even try to ignore it and break off to explore whatever dive site you're at before tackling the plot point, which is the foundation of the series. What makes matters worse is that at a certain point the game starts blocking you from progressing the story, so if you want to continue, you first have to scan a set number of creatures, meaning go to a dive elsewhere and start scanning. And this is just asinine. The game boots you out of the story to make you wander in a boring sea scanning creatures just so that you can play 45 seconds on a story mode before it boots you back out to scan more creatures. And then even later it tells you that you have to complete the 99 board, which is 99 in-game achievements, and they don't tell you what they are. So the game expects me to swim around aimlessly filling out something I don't know what I need to do to fill out so that I can watch a shitty cutscene. Yep, I don't care to do this.
Endless Ocean Luminous is extremely disappointing. You can't just take a basic-ass diving game and slap the EO name on it. Endless Ocean used to have so much more than that, and it's a shame how it's stripped down from what it was.
Luminous doesn't feel like a complete game, it just feels like a tech demo to see if the controls work. And well, they do! I went to the Endless Ocean fan wiki to see if people had the same sentiment, but I got the answer I needed in an easier fashion. These abbreviations. Endless Ocean is EO, which makes sense. Blue World is called EO2, even though 2 is nowhere on the cover, but it's a beloved and worthy sequel. And Luminous is EOL, not EO3. Does not seem like the community is accepting it as an official third title, which I agree. EOL is a good acronym for it, because the game is an L. The only thing Endless Ocean Luminous did right is have an L.
Now, while I hate how the Nintendo Switch has become the re-release box of its time, but I wouldn't have minded if they just brought these two games forward in a package and put them on the Switch, instead of giving us whatever this is. Well, are you feeling relaxed yet? Instead of pissed off, I'm now just sad. Depression is better than anger. I'm not sure about that. No time for debate. Jump back in. depressed and angry.
This is great toast, by the way.